The assault weapons bill passed in the face of ferocious opposition from the National Rifle Association. She says she got the best she could.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it. I could not do that. The votes weren't here.
Here we just were joined by two people who were actually inside Theater 9 where the main shooting took place. I'm joined by Fasil Iayu and Evan Morrison. And gentlemen, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Can you just tell me what you saw and what you heard?
We were just watching the movie. It was about 15 minutes into it, and as we were doing that, someone completely dressed in black started walking from the bottom emergency exit on the right. And we saw something getting thrown from the back of the theater, and then from his side, something looked like a canister, and it went off. The popping noises and tear gas, and then he started shooting.
So you said you saw something come from the back of the theater as well, and then the front as well?
Yeah, they both were thrown. They popped one after the other, and after they did, he started shooting.
Okay.
Well, a couple of the descriptions about who he is have really stood out. One neighbor who said they didn't want to identify themselves said he was, quote, off. Another neighbor who didn't want to go on camera described him as socially awkward, quiet, and would sometimes just sit and stare. On the other hand, there is a teenage neighbor who has known him his entire life. He says he's happy with someone who is nice, and he thinks that James Holmes was set up.
I'm pissed. That's it. I'm at. You know, I don't feel like he did it. You know, I felt like it was a scam or something, but, you know, it's just overwhelming.
Have you learned from him about what transpired inside, or from your mother?
So the most I can learn, or the most I know as of now, is that there are multiple shooters. There's multiple people. It was a very well coordinated thing. Is that there are multiple shooters. There's multiple people. It was a very well coordinated thing. It wasn't haphazard.
They did walk a guy out of the woods. I saw him walk a guy out earlier with handcuffs. He walked by us and said he didn't do it.
It was a grown man.
A grown man, yeah. He's sitting in the front of the police car over there now. So, I mean...
He didn't have a gun?
No, I didn't see any gun. Just had him handcuffed. And he walked by us and looked into parents' eyes and said, I didn't do it.
How was he dressed?
Camo pants with a dark jacket.
The media claims that 6-year-old Emily Parker on the right was shot in the Sandy Hook massacre. Here she is shown with her parents along with her 3- and 4-year-old sisters. But the story that she was killed at Sandy Hook is not possible, because here she is sitting on the president's lap after the shooting. What may have happened is that when the photographer said to bring out the Parker girls, they brought out Emily by mistake. The rest of the Parker family changed their clothes after the family picture. But since Emily was not supposed to be in the picture with the president, she remained in the same dress. From left to right is Emily, her father, the president, her mother, her sister, and the family law attorney that claims to be her aunt. Here, the fake father makes his national TV debut.
To come to the microphone so we'll listen in. Okay. My name's Robbie Parker. My family is one of the families that lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut.
So while this compromise didn't contain everything I wanted or everything that these families wanted, it did represent progress. It represented moderation and common sense. That's why 90% of the American people supported it. But instead of supporting this compromise, the gun lobby and its allies willfully lied about the bill. They claimed that it would create some sort of big brother gun registry, even though the bill did the opposite. This legislation, in fact, outlawed any registry. Plain and simple, right there in the text. But that didn't matter. And unfortunately, this pattern of spreading untruths about this legislation served a purpose, because those lies upset an intense minority of gun owners, and that in turn intimidated a lot of senators. I've heard folks say that having the families of victims lobby for this legislation was somehow misplaced. A prop, somebody called them. Emotional blackmail, some outlets said. Are they serious? Do we really think that thousands of families whose lives have been shattered by gun violence don't have a right to weigh in on this issue? Do we think their emotions, their loss, is not relevant to this debate? So all in all, this was a pretty shameful day for Washington. But this effort is not over. I want to make it clear to the American people, we can still bring about meaningful changes that reduce gun violence, so long as the American people don't give up on it. Thank you very much, everybody.